Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Pavs, a rising VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of work on the comic page. Now, what I wanted to do is that I have some stuff that I still need to figure out for page 4, but I kind of wanted to do that on my own time and get some feedback in from the writer Ref. So we're actually going to be starting up page 5 today, which I think is going to be very exciting. Let's see here. Let's head over to the working screen, shall we? All right. God, the number of windows, as I've started streaming, right? Like, the more I stream, the more windows that I need to have open at any given time. So, I have OBS, I have VTube Studio. I guess if you're not a VTuber, you don't need to use VTube Studio, so you'll have fewer windows. But I imagine, like, I'm juggling. Okay, so I also got the music player, which, by the way, oh, right, that won't show up in the bod. That's kind of funny. Hang on, let's see if we can't. Hang on. All right, I hope that kind of comes through at a decent clip. Maybe it won't. Maybe, I don't know. Audio mixing is kind of whacked on OBS. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it is very misleading, the audio mixing. I'll keep an eye on it in case it is too quiet. I imagine there has to be some way to like add a gain filter to it, but I think that right now it should be probably at a great volume. In fact, maybe too great a volume. I'm one of those people that has to have their music on like a low volume. Hold up. Yeah, I don't know why it is, but I don't, I'm not very easily like, I don't like to listen to loud music at all times. I think the only times that I've really listened to loud music are when I'm on like a bus or something and I don't want to listen to the, I kind of want to drown out the noise. But yeah, otherwise I keep my music volume pretty tame. All right. Now this is going to be an exciting new thing that I'm going to do here, which is first I need to add a, hang on, layer. What was I going to add? New layer, frame border folder. Here we go. Yeah, and I remember that we need to increase the line width and everything. Let's just bump that up to around 12. Oh, 62 line width. Oh my god. Okay. That should be good, I think. Maybe just a little bit more. Maybe like a good solid 12 pixels. Maybe a little more after that as well. Yeah, we can go probably like 15 pixels. Yeah, I feel like that's fairly reasonable. All right, so okay, we're gonna grab these guys and try to get them in with that safety margin. So I think the way it was supposed to go is that like you want your panels to kind of bump up against this kind of safety line right here. Yeah, the panel border is just kind of bumping up there. Like that. Yeah, a little to the right. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. If I can show you guys page 4 for a little bit, you can actually see that you can also use that to do a little bit of bleed-through effect. I recently reread Scott Pilgrim Volume 6 to kind of like get an idea for how these are supposed to look. And I did notice that for most of the time, the pages did actually have like a full bleed effect for some reason. I think that might be because they're trying to like take inspiration from manga and everything. But yeah, I'm hesitant to use the full bleed on the sides because I am worried about having to keep track of the page numbers, right? So like if I want to suddenly have a full bleed, like if I wanted to make this panel up here, right? A full bleed panel, just like fan it out to the side like that. I would have to remember, okay, this panel is going to be that way, so it would be inappropriate to have like this part here be kind of like towards the book's spine. So yeah, it's best to just like not overthink it and just try to keep it within reason. That's what I found, at least. All right, now let's slice this panel up. All right. And I do wonder how we can get a new panel in here. I think we can just like, hang on, I've got an idea. Layer, new layer. Frame folder. Okay, here we go. For line width, let's keep it at 12. Actually, let's keep that at 10 because we don't want that to be too thick. All right, so for this one, we are going to like shrink it down way, way, way. And why they got the bird on the beat in, in this song? Again, I'm going to try to avoid referencing the music as much as I can during the stream so that the people watching the VODs won't get confused when I'm just like talking about like, man, who let the birds in here when I'm speaking over absolute dead silence? Yeah, let me know if the music's a bit too loud. I see that it's kind of like at a good volume right now. It's kind of a little bit below, like, I think the Hades volume that it normally would be. There's little decibel symbols, right? But I don't know what that means. Like, I feel like, unlike, you know, kilogram or a liter, you don't, you know, if you say to somebody, hey, do you know how much a liter of water weighs? They'll probably be like, yeah, I know more or less what that weighs. But I don't think people know just so more or less just like the difference between decibels. Unless they're one of those folks that have that like what do you call it, perfect pitch thing. All right. First panel. I feel like I should probably order these in terms of like the panel order that they should be in. I feel like that's just good for bookkeeping reasons. Is that what it would be called? Bookkeeping? Good documentation? I'm not sure. I read the other day that apparently the Suez Canal got briefly blocked up again, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it's 20. We're in 2021 part 2. I should also probably pull up the dialogue for this page. Let's see. Wait, did the number of panels in here change? No. Okay, yeah, I see. This first panel is without text. I see. All right. So I think the first thing to do is to actually maybe get at least one of these drawing figures in here. So that what we can do is we can get the background going. Oh yeah, I did learn that apparently you can actually make the model way taller than it can be. Oh wait, no, I think the maximum you can make it is 250 centimeters tall. Which is a bit of a bummer because sometimes you have like a character that you want to be like 3 meters tall, and you can't see like the proportions that would come from that very easily. All right, I think this would be more or less the angle. Now let's see if that kind of matches up with the ruler and everything. Oh yeah. All right, let's do this thing. I'll also have to take a look again at page... Which was it? Page 3. To remember what design I gave this door. Yeah, I think it was just like a flat door back there. Yes, I love the CSP bodies. They're so useful even with limitations. Oh yeah. No, like, they have saved my life on multiple occasions. With the CSP bodies, I could be like, I never thought I'd go down fighting side by side with a mannequin. Could you go down side by side with a friend? I could do that. We have that kind of relationship. All right, let's see here. We can close this document right now. All right. Okay, so it's about a couple heads higher than a million here. We can put the top around here. Okay, right here. Literally, like, thank you for saving my life with your mysterious little being. Comics looking cool. Thank you. Yeah. they are just like little guys to me. They are like small little alien guys that I have had a couple of incidents, right, where I've had to like pose them in a weird way, and they did not like that whatsoever. But they are generally very amenable. I love that for them. I love that I can twist their arms like 180 degrees the opposite direction that they're supposed to, and they'd be like, "All right, boss, whatever you say." Yeah, I also managed to grab a couple of like pose sets. Oh right. Here's a reminder that if you haven't been getting your if you haven't been opening like Clip Studio recently, try and do that. And because you can get like free asset store money from that. Where is it? Yeah, I keep forgetting to get mine, but now that I'm saying it, I do remember now. You can get like a login bonus for January. I actually bought a couple of post packs that way, and those are the ones that I've been using. You have no idea. The people reading this, unless they watch these streams pretty frequently, they will never know that a lot of the poses in this came from a idle pose asset pack. Yeah. Let's see here. I feel like the door needs to be a little bit thicker. Oh yeah, the idle pose set is so useful, honestly. Very versatile. It's mainly because it just has very good flow to it, right? I feel like with some poses, it's very difficult to get that feeling of motion, but for the idle pose ones, they actually have a very good sense of motion right off the bat. So it's a lot easier to work with them rather than against them. It feels like you're working with them rather than against them. I think that's the best way to put it. Which pose in this comic? Down here in page 4. This person's twisted pose with a spear thrust is based on one of those singing poses. All right. Speaking of which, I should probably pose up this mannequin soon. Let's see. And we can close this out for now. Yeah. Move this just a little bit to the right. Yeah, that's another thing that I owe my life to, vector layers. Let's see. Let me get in here with the object tool. This one. Okay. What kind of handles did I have on this? Just normal door handles? All right. Let's see. Right over here. The problem with getting a little bit too into making these smooth lines with the vector layer is that sometimes you forget where stuff goes. Yeah, I definitely did these a little bit too far. Down, up. I'll figure it out or I won't. All right, slice these out. There we go. Wait, did I? Okay, no, I did not erase the middle of the door. That's good to know. To be fair, having this be like one large swinging block of wood would have been a little bit funny, but I don't think it would have been. Wait, hang on. Oh, this top line also isn't supposed to be here, I think. Okay, did this door have... No, it just kind of like had nothing there, but it did have two sections up here, which complicates things. But that's fine, I can just move these two bits down a little bit, shift them down a little bit. Like so. Get rid of this bit here. Move these two up. Not that much, a little bit more, a little more, there we go. There. Here. Yeah, the funny thing about working with rulers, especially when I'm working with the frickin' anti-aliased bits, is that I feel like sometimes I just have to like snipe the correct line width. I could probably just work around it using the connect vector line thing. Yeah, there we go. Although that does thin out the rest of the line a little bit too much. There we go. Move it just a little bit further up. Wait. Why did it move like that? Oh well. Actually, come to think of it, I should probably just get rid of these two. I don't know if the angle will have changed. There we go. But now it looks weird that there's nothing here. Hold on. First, I should probably add a little bit additional detail to the door here. Man, I really gotta start learning how to... I gotta start doing more backgrounds so I can start doing them freehand. Or at least less reliant on the ruler, because I do feel like the ruler backgrounds feel a little bit more stiff compared to if I did them freehand. I guess that's true if anything with a ruler, but still. What was that thing that, like, I think that it was like a famous film director or something that said that, like, the background of a movie is also a kind of character. I want to be able to work it that way. You know, because, like, obviously you have the characters on screen doing the moving the plot forward, but the setting should also be a type of character on its own. If not because it's easier to like figure out what would be in it that way, but also because like it, it's just easier to care for it that way. You know, you can get attached to a character, but it's not very easy to get attached to a background. I should drink some water. All right, get this. Um, I read somewhere that apparently in around 1953 there was a an incident that happened. I don't remember if it was in Connecticut or Indiana or something. But essentially, what happened is that there was a punk kid that got stiffed by a, what do you call it, like a local exotic pet shop owner, right? And like the pet shop owner sold him like a fish. The fish died like the next day, and the kid was like, "Hey man, what the fuck?" And the pet shop owner was like, "Huh, sorry kid, I don't control when the fish dies or lives." So the kid saw a bunch of snakes behind the, and like he was like staking out, I guess, this shop, and was like, all right, I'm gonna get this guy back for him. And he saw like a crate full of snakes, which he didn't think were like dangerous. And well, he opened the crates and let the snakes free. And I think it turned out that those snakes were like Burmese pythons or some shit. Basically, a very well, no, it couldn't have been a Burmese python. I think a Burmese python is like a type of constrictor, as are most pythons. I think it might have been kind of cobra, but essentially, this kid let out a bunch of snakes in the neighborhood, and for like a few months, there was like just this constant thing of like some dude finding a snake in their garden and being like, "Well, time to go smack it dead with a hoe," which must have made for very interesting local news. I remember one incident that they reported was that they had to like call the police, and the police had to throw like a tear gas canister under a house to smoke out the snake. Absolute insanity. I guess the moral of the story is make sure that you know how to care for exotic fish. Because I really don't see what else we're supposed to learn from this situation. Also, I feel like the door thing here needs to be almost like shorter. The door thing, like the place where the handles are. Huh. It is weird that we have a name for the door handles, but like maybe not the place where the door handles are placed. I guess that would just be the door, huh? Actually, you know what might be an easier way to go about all of this is to just add a add some details to these panels here. Just retroactively have a little bit more richness to the door. I just gotta be very careful. Okay, then I think in this panel, yeah, it got cut off weirdly here too. I don't know how I didn't notice that. It's important to be well rested when you look at these sorts of things, you know? Of course, that means you have to be kind of a beast at scheduling so that everything's done on time, but hey. I think having a polished end product is usually quite worth it. Oh, right, it might have been because, like, okay, yeah, I have like a white outline turned on for the character here. I've got an idea for how to resolve this. There we go. Oh, I see what that's supposed to be. Okay. New idea. I'm just going to grab this one part right here, and then I'm just going to abuse that a little bit. Wait. No, hang on. Okay, that goes down like... Oh god, I think I might have turned this into some kind of weird MC Escher painting. MC Escher painter. Yeah, that was his job. Actually, no, I think MC Escher mostly worked in lithographs, so I don't know if that would qualify him as a painter. It certainly qualified him as an artist, but I don't know if painter might be the best kind of a description for that. Let's see. No. Something about this isn't right. Right, okay, up until around here it makes sense, but then it kind of like melts into it. The fuck? Where does this line come from then? No, that's also a normal line. I don't... How did I do this? It's kind of incredible. I knew I wasn't the best at backgrounds, but I didn't think it was bad enough to turn the plays non-Euclidean. You just know that non-Euclidean doors like are a complete menace when you're getting insurance, right? Like, you know, it's bad enough in this economy, right? Trying to get house insurance, adding non-Euclidean corridors, and you know, like just the heating costs alone of like Bowser's Infinite Staircase or some shit, that would like really drive up the costs. Let's see here. Yes. No. Maybe. Hang on. There we go. That'll do. Man, I'm glad I ended up going back to fix up page 3 a little bit then. Yeah. Have you guys ever been hit with like a really strong craving for something, but like you just want to gorge all of it in your house? It happened to me the other day, right? I was eating some brownies and I just got the worst urge in my entire life for milk of all things. I'm not a milk guy. I don't drink milk. Like that's not part of my culture. We don't like drink milk regularly. You know, we might drink it at breakfast, sure, but like it's not like a... I know that like in American public schools they have milk just as a normal beverage. What's up with that? Anyway, I don't really drink milk, but I ate some brownies. I was like, I need milk, like right away. So I got myself some milk, and it was like the best thing I'd ever tasted. I just kept eating milk and brownies. It's the only beverage, to be honest. It's free. Ah, ya veo. Shit. Does that mean they charge you for water? I know the American school system sucks shit, but like, That would make me really sad if they charge you for water. All the other drinks you have to pay for. Right, right. Alright, hang on. Unless it's a water fountain, then yeah. Fuck me, really? Jeez. That is disheartening. Also, hi, Bunny. Oh god, that's really bad. Alright, let's see here. Then right around, where would it be? Right here? Yeah. Gotta do a little bit of a correction right here. Alright. Okay, we've added enough detail to the door. I do like that this is becoming a regular thing that I have to kind of like retroactively go back a few pages and then add more detail. I'm glad that I have the ability to do it, because if I didn't, I think the consequences would be even worse, because then, you know, it's bad enough that you go like, oh man, I'm such a silly goose, I have to go back and fix these other pages. But I think like if I publish these online and then only notice the inconsistencies later, I would actually not be able to go on. Straight up, that would be curtains for me. Like, I could just imagine the post under the comic being like, hey guys, Pabs here. I noticed that I have a slight inconsistency that makes it entirely difficult to draw this page, continuing from page 12 to page 13. So unfortunately, I'll be canceling the column in comic, and you won't be able to access the archives anywhere after this. Thanks, bye. And then I just hit the big red button that makes the website explode. I do think we need to start bringing in 50 supervillain design sensibilities, not just to normal furnishings and housings, but also to websites and digital spaces. Like, I feel like my website should have like be able to have a dead man's trigger. Let's see. Actually, kind of going back to page 3 for a second. Okay, I do have the 3-line paneling up here. There we go. I wonder if I could just copy and paste this and then flip it for this other panel. That would be kind of funny. Also, I don't know why this one's in here. Alright, flip. Is that valid? It's got a lot of missing textures there, but it's a little bit easier than redrawing the whole thing. Nah, I shouldn't do that, because I think like even if I didn't do that, or even if I did do that, there's like, I'll reserve judgment until the time comes. What I learned the other day, right, is that people only spend about 8 seconds on a panel. And from personal experience, I know that that's even like lower. Like, I read through comics perhaps a little too quickly. At a pace that some people might refer to as breakneck. Or that those of us with an absence of a neck might refer to as way too fast. All right, let's bring back the doll for this. There we go. This 8 pose is useful enough, but we gotta have them like... Okay, arms back a little bit like this. Actually tilt it a little bit to the side too. Like slightly akimbo. I do need to get a look at that arm real quick. How do I... Hold up. There we go. And then just twist this back. There we go. The fun thing about like these poses, especially the ones where you can see that both of their arms are slightly up like that, is that if you were to like, say, put in like DJ turntables underneath it, it would look like they were at a concert. Hang on. Allow me to demonstrate. Yeah. Yeah, that still works. Oh, yeah, I should probably make one for Hawk as well. I'll grab a second one of these people in here. What you doing all the way down there? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so then let's... Alright. Just gonna move her right over here. Where? Oh, is she on a different layer? Oh, she sure is. Alright, hang on. Alright, hang on. There we go. Right, let's work on some height stuff. How tall did I make her in this page? Because I feel like in this page she was like at a good relative height compared to a million. Okay, 170 centimeters and a million was 180. I remember that a million is pretty consistently 180 centimeters. There's probably a pose that I could use for this. Alright, let's scroll way past down. How did this person come up with so many idle poses? Right. Yeah, like grid up or something. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you like that. All right, let's try to lift up her core a little bit. Yeah, the thing about grid up is that it's got a very good low stance, but it's also like a little bit difficult. You know, it's I don't know how to put it. Like the thing about martial arts stances, right, is that there is a difference if you're doing a stance for the purposes of like say um you know, technique, and there's also a difference if you're doing it for the purposes of say like actual fighting. Where? Oh, I see. Hang on. So and this was even explained to me in like one of the like one of the instructors at the karate class that I took one time, that essentially the difference mainly lies in the fact that like especially if you're going for technique, your stance should be like very low, but if you're just like sparring with somebody or you're fighting with somebody, your stance can be a little bit higher than usual. Like nobody's going to blame you if you're not like very low to the ground, because one, you need to be, if you're low to the ground, you derive more power, but it's also much more difficult to kind of like maintain, if that makes sense. You get tired faster because, you know, the lower to the ground you are, the more you're using your leg strength. And again, that is why you're deriving that much more power, but it's also tiring. It's tiring to move like that. Hang on. Let me try and all right, move this leggy forward, this calf back. Calf is a weird word. I never understood calf. You know, in Spanish it's very different. We call it like the patilla or something like that, or las plantillas or something. But so calf was just like an entirely new concept to me when I first heard it. Could we actually move her back a little bit? Hmm. Hold up. Did I set her height to 190? Yes, I did. Okay, good. I feel like her hips are leaning out a little bit too much, you know? Like this doesn't feel like a stable pose. This one does. All right, let's see here. This hand would be the right hand. So it would actually be kind of like this if I wanted to include the spear. Actually, I should probably also move her just a little bit, just a touch more, like to the right or to the left and up. Yeah, because I think that way it's like, hang on. No, I feel like that's almost. Okay, set her down to the ground and we'll work from there. Okay. Actually, I think I can make this work. All right, let's copy and paste this model over to... Hold on. Can I duplicate this? Okay, it's not letting me duplicate it just yet. Okay, still not letting me. What's this? No, that's not quite what I was planning to do. Now, what the hell? I haven't actually done anything to her body yet, so I need to... I can just get another one in here. It would also probably help if I'm on the right layer. Alright, let's try that again. Never mind. Okay, yes, now we have 4 people in here. Make them 190 centimeters tall also. Slam her down on the ground. She's standing right behind me, isn't she? Alright, let's see here. Okay. Alright, let's do it. I might need to open up the references for the maid soon enough as well. Oh hey, Preston, thank you for the raid. How you guys doing? I'm Pabs, a racing VTuber and an artist, and I'm pretty sure that up until I started streaming I was talking shit in Preston's stream, so you guys have probably seen enough of me already. How did Faith go? How are you doing? Did you manage to clear chapter 3? Yeah, let me give you a shout out. Alright, let's see here. We're drawing a ponytail. I don't remember much else. Hold up, I lost my train of thought. Here we go. Okay. Alright, this is a design for the maids here. Beat the whole game. Nice. Yeah, you seem to be pretty far along it when I dropped off, so I'm glad that you were able to finish it. Missed a step at chapter 3, so I wasn't able to get the good ending. Oh. Well, hey, you still beat it, though. That's not nothing, is it? Yeah. Missed a step at chapter 3. Still got a good ending, just not the best one. Ah, okay. Yeah. No, I actually really like, you missed the best part, though? Shit. You have to look at the VOD, then. Can't believe I missed out the good part. Although a lot of the game was very spicy to begin with. Do I want the... Okay, do I want the robomates to have visible hairlines? I don't think I do. Father Garcia. Oh no, it looks like John is in the headlock. He's down for the 3 count. But what's this? It's Father Garcia with a holy 12 gauge. Yeah. That's that's incredible. After all that bullshit, Father Garcia is just like, all right, that's it. I'm getting the gun. Let's see. Okay, okay. There we go. But yeah, as always, feel free to cool your heels here. But if you need to do some post stream errands, go ahead and feel free to tag out. Can't wait for Phase 2 where John shoots the unspeakable in the eye with the anti-tank rifle. Well, a lot of gun brands are Italian. Wait, this person doesn't have ears. They wouldn't have ear lobes. Yeah. There was that, like, I've never seen much of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I do remember there was like a bit in one of the episodes where they were fighting this villain who was like unbeatable by any weapon of the age, right? Like, it was a dude from like medieval times, and they were like, no weapon created in that age can defeat him. And then they just pull out a rocket launcher and just blast him to smithereens. Amateba Unica? Come on now. I don't know how much money John makes from ghost busting, but I don't think it's enough to afford the market premium on one of those bad boys. I can't wait for Faith 3 where Father Garcia finally teaches John the Kaioken technique. Let's see. Simplify, smooth corner, process whole line. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I do think that the funniest, there's like a lot of potential for crossovers, but I do think the funniest out of context shit you can say is that like a character has learned the Kaioken technique. I don't know why for me that's like my funny button, but like it is. I remember seeing this friggin' Tumblr post where like it was like they were saying like Steven Universe spoiler, and like it's showing like Steven Universe is like, show me the Kaioken technique, and then for some reason Eminem is like, yeah, okay. Good thing Father Garcia has a 100% off coupon called a 12 gauge pump action. You think people would just do that? Just go out and just pull a Terminator and steal from a gun store? I mean, it did work for Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't know. Seems a bit risky. Yeah, that does raise a good point, though. That like, why? I mean, obviously, it's because like the people are, they're just being haunted by ghosts. They're not like evil. They don't deserve to die. But like, you would have thought that like more people in the Faith universe would have started using guns if that was the case. Ex Helsing. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I still need to watch Unabridged Helsing. Yeah, God. I still need to watch Helsing, the version of Helsing that isn't abridged. Like, the abridged version of Helsing is very good, but, like, I feel like the original needs to be watched on its own sometimes at some point. Weirdest shit that ever happened to me. I remember I have a very distinct memory of one time going back to my home country for a little bit and going to like this back, we were on like a long haul trip with like my parents. We were going to like some mountain or something. And for whatever fucking reason, we stopped at this village to like get some food. And for whatever reason, there was like a fairly well done airbrush of Alucard on the side of one of like the electrical boxes or something, or like an electrical transformer. Not for the life of me, I could tell you why that was there, but I do remember it being like really well done. You know how like you have wizards airbrushed on the side of the van? Like that's the kind of quality we're talking about. Like weirdly good airbrushing technique. Because Alucard is fucking cool. Yeah, but like that doesn't explain why. I think like Helsing ultimately sends an anti-demonic message, but I do have to wonder, like, one, why in this middle of nowhere country in South America, in country boony sticks place in South America, do they have this in a predominantly Catholic country? I just want to I want to meet the person who did that. I know I never will, but I want to because they're just their mind. Yeah, here we go. Yes. Hi, Top Buzz. How you doing? All right. So this is going to kind of come in like this. Gonna go eat? All righty. Thanks for dropping by. And take a shower. All right, let me take a look at the spear thing that I designed a little while back. Okay. Well, then I gotta learn to organize my, what do you call my, oops, not what I meant to do. My tabs on CSP. Turns out sitting in a warm room for 4 hours straight makes you smell like garbage. Yeah. Yeah, cold sweat from being kind of afraid is never a good scent. They did try. I know Dior did try to market that as a eau de toilette a little while back. It was a fun little marketing trick. All right, see ya. Let's see here. I do always wonder what that's supposed to mean, like eau de toilette, right? I can Google that real quick. Hang on. Eau de toilette, high alcohol content. Oh, here we go. Okay. Eau de toilette, meaning grooming water, is slightly scented perfume. It's also referred to as aromatic waters and has a high alcohol content. It is usually applied directly to the skin after bathing or shaving. Oh, it's kind of like shaving cream, or like, what do you call shaving alcohol. Or aftershave. That's what it's supposed to be called. Aftershave. Yeah. Neat. All right. Back to work. But yeah, eau de toilette literally just means grooming water. You learn something new every day. I remember the word toilet being like the funniest shit when I was like 6 or 7 years old. If you have like a certain sense of humor, it still is. I've largely dropped out of that, but like if I had told my 6-year-old self like, yeah, aftershave was originally called eau de toilette, he would have lost his mind. He would have been over the moon. Okay. What does this thing... Okay, I forgot what this thing was supposed to do. I think it was supposed to be like an energy element or something. Because the whole thing of this spear is that it's essentially like a superheated... It's like a spicy fire poker. Scale up width. Just a little bit up here. All right. Here we go. Hmm. Will that go better there? Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, snip this part here, here, and here. It's probably, you know, thinking about this rationally, it's probably not a good idea for her to be holding her hand. So, you know, it's probably not a good thing to idea to handle this thing without the handle itself, because that's going to make it very hot. But these are robot mates, so I think they're fine. They've got the Iron Fist. It's cool. I always find it funny that, like, you know how grandmas are allowed to, like, I say allowed to, like it's normally illegal. You know how grandmas can take stuff out of the oven without like even putting on like kitchen gloves or anything, because like their skin is either just that tough. I don't know why it happens. I don't know where it comes from. Like maybe they're just that adapted to it, or maybe their skin is just that tough, or maybe they just don't care. But there is that like trope of like a grandma just like, I say trope, like this occurrence of like a grandmother just taking hot cookies out of the oven, no gloves on. Fuck it, we ball. And I once heard that somebody referred to that as having the Iron Fist. And I've been obsessed with calling it that ever since. Yeah, Nana has the Iron Fist technique now. There's an actual technique called the Iron Fist. It's well, they call it a technique. It's really more of a training regimen that's supposed to toughen up your fists. So essentially, you start out, I think, by punching sand, and you apply a special ointment called Tita Jiao to your fists after these like training sessions. And soon enough, your hands are going to essentially kind of grow calluses over your knuckles, so that you'll be able to punch stuff harder without really like feeling it. I'm not sure what it is. It's. I think it might be a combination of like deadening your nerves over time. It's got to be something, but essentially over time you graduate from punching sand to punching gravel, and then I think you just straight up punch like iron plates or some shit. But that is the idea: is that eventually you kind of work your fists up to a certain degree of toughness. Hmm. How high up is the tie on these aprons? Okay, not that high up. Okay, so it's just about... Yeah, I think it is just a little bit higher than their waist, or right around their waistline. When I was a kid, I always wondered how to tie these like super huge ribbons like this. Because I know you can do it with like string, right? I think you're supposed to be able to do it with a piece of string. Well, string is a bit of a generous term. Like you're supposed to be able to do it with a ribbon, which is why it's called that. But I never figured out how to do it. There we go. Okay, and then the dress is gonna kind of flow out. I guess in this direction. I've got an idea for how to work that bit right there. I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to rotate it a little bit like this. No, I don't quite feel it. For now, we can leave it like that, though. This one here, for example, is good. The rest of these we can figure out soon enough. I think I want to give this one like a white dress and a white apron compared to like the other one, which has a black dress and a white apron. I don't know. Okay, I feel like these two need to be just a little bit higher. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh yeah. I was reading up on like old diners, right? And I learned that there were apparently during like the 1800s or so, these things called automats. At first I thought that I read the news article a little bit fast, right? And I said, oh, okay, so they had like restaurants and laundromats. That was not the case. Apparently, an automat is essentially a type of restaurant where you have like a bunch of food on different menus, right? Like you have a menu, you have the like tables where you can eat. It's like a normal restaurant, except instead of like ordering with a waiter or like at a counter or anything, you essentially have like a big like postal box row of food, which you just grab what you want to eat, and then you pay for it later. But yeah, automats were like a big thing because for some reason people didn't like the existence of waiters until like way later. Like waiters as an idea did not catch on for a long time. So the idea of automats was very revolutionary to these people. I mean, the waiters would just end up being like behind the scenes, but I think for these people it was like an out of sight, out of mind kind of deal. But yeah, I lived very briefly in a universe where like somebody made an combination laundromat diner, and like in that brief moment, I was in bliss. People talk a lot about like liminal spaces, right? Like, oh, hey, liminal spaces can make you uncomfortable. They're difficult to exist in. for long periods of times. And while I agree with that in principle, I do also think that liminal spaces have the advantage of that if you have nothing to do, it's just kind of nice to hang out in them. Like, honestly, spending time on an airplane when I don't have anything like rushing me or like concerning me, so much fun. Or like on an airport as well. Like if I just need to like spend time and have a good time, I can do that very easily. I have a great time doing that. Everybody has their limits, right? But I haven't hit mine yet with this sort of thing. So for me, laundromats are a very kind of special place that I would like to spend more time in. But you know, I don't really, I have obligations besides laundry. So it's very difficult to kind of indulge myself with that. Let's see here. Yeah, I got chicken nuggets. Nice. I'm probably going to have chicken nuggets for dinner myself soon. And they're all shaped like hearts. Fuck yeah, dude. Yes, heart-shaped chicken nuggets. Yeah, shaped chicken nuggets are a genius idea. I remember as a kid, I loved eating like dinosaur nuggets. I didn't like eating like restaurant chicken nuggets, but I liked eating like oven dinosaur nuggets. It's always so much fun when they're like cut into like special shapes. That's true of just about anything, right? Like it's always more fun when food has like a special thing to it. I feel like I made the eye too wide. I kind of want to make like a kind of sound. Oh, I think I know what I can do as well. Hang on. I can move this one a little bit to the side over here. Bring it in and then shape this one down a little bit more. Single sweat drop. All right, I think that'll do for now. Okay, wrap up the neck. Then bring that in like this. Perfect. Oh yeah. Another neat thing that I found today was that I found this website that had like I don't know how to put it. So it essentially it was like a way for you to determine like what your optimal bubble tea order would be, right? Only problem is it has every possible combination of bubble tea that you could conceivably think of at a well-stocked bubble tea place. So what ended up happening is that I clicked on like milk tea, right, for like the base, and it looked like a taxonomy thing. Like it looked like those Wikipedia diagrams to show which species for an animal are still living and which ones aren't, or which ones are extinct. Like that's how many options there were. It was like an entire taxonomy thing. It was a little intimidating. I didn't end up getting much farther than that because it was like 10 minutes till I went live. But the idea that somebody put that much effort into it makes me happy. Hmm. Mm-hmm. And then droop. There we go. I actually need to move the second one up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So then after that, what we need to do is draw the rest of the hand. Okay. I can probably draw the rest of the fingers in a more interesting shape, I think. No, hang on. I think I just ended up copying this shape anyway. Damn it. Okay. I don't know. Fingers for me are something that I get hung up very easily on. They're very expressive, right? Yeah, I remember one time somebody posted like this discussion that they had where they were making like this image book for a character who had like a mask on, like a full face mask on for as a character. It's like one of those characters that has like a plastic mask, Anyway, they were discussing, right, how they were able to give her different expressions, quote unquote expressions, in the photo book, and they emphasized the fact her hands in almost every image, which is how they accomplished that idea. I kind of took that to heart, I think. I should drink some water. Oh yeah. I learned that apparently the classic version of Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie. Thank you for the hydrate money. Just for that, I'm going to take another sip. Oh, and a posture check. Thank you very much. Recently, I changed. I mentioned like a long time ago. Well, it feels like a long time ago now. That I got myself one of those like standing desks, right? You know, one of those desks that has like a little motor on it, so that you can convert it to like standing or like sitting. And what I found more recently is that before this might take a little bit of explanation. So I have my current desk set up as follows. I have me at in a chair right here, right? And I have my old desk right here next to me, because I like to like keep like my Wi-Fi router, some other stuff on there, dirty dishes, you know, that sort of thing there. And I used to have my new desk set at more or less the same height, so I could like Mongus. No, that's not Among Us. That's Pabs. That's me. Dun 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 dun. Okay, no. Anyway, I used to have my old desk set up like that, and I used to have the new desk set up so it was at more or less the same height, so that I could like essentially lean over a little bit and put my elbow on it, like so, if I so wished. Imagine if I could stretch my limbs for a second. But what I found recently is that I actually enjoyed more when I have my desk set a little bit higher, like almost above my belly button. If I were to have a belly button, you know, I don't have a belly button, but in theory, I had a belly button, it would be right above it. So now I just kind of like do it that way, and I found that that's become much better for me. I don't know. It might start. It might start like feeling bad soon, but when that happens, I'll just change it back to the way it was, or change it to a new way, or a new height. I know that sometimes during the day I do actually get the urge to stand while I'm working, so I just converted real quick. It's been a real godsend, especially since these days I'm working from home a lot more often. Let's see. Yeah, I'm glad that working from home is one of those strengths that seems to have stuck around. I I would. I'd still like to go to work every now and again, but I'd like to go when it doesn't make me feel like I want to die when I step outside. Levels of cold. Or no, it doesn't make me feel like I want to die. It makes me feel like I am dying. So yeah, when that stops being a thing, I'll definitely head back to buying proper office and workspace. Accommodating for yourself is in for the year 2023. Amen. Yeah. And the thing is, as well, like, particularly right now, when there's a bit of a lull in my work stream, this would be completely covered up, wouldn't it? God damn it. I just realized that this would be completely covered up by the maid's dress. Shit. I was so lost in the magnificence and splendor of having a rising desk that I forgot that the maid's dress was covering up like a third of the panel. Jeez, okay. Big stretchy. Okay. Let's do it. Yeah, I know that the version of Mickey Mouse that appears in Steamboat Willie is apparently becoming public domain soon, which I think is going to be really funny. Not because anybody's going to like do anything with it. I think like if anybody did do anything with it, they would be scared as hell to like get bonked by Disney. But I think it will be it is really funny because that means that the colored version of Mickey Mouse is soon approaching his expiration date for copyright, which is going to be a really funny year. God, I hope I live to see that day. Obviously, Disney is going to fight tooth and nail for that copyright, but I think like it'll be really funny. Hell, I mean, even Ash Ketchum is no longer going to be the protagonist of Pokemon. We're due for a couple big changes around here. At least that's what I understood the last couple times I saw Ash Ketchum trending. Right? Like I don't think he's. I think they're going to like make him not the protagonist anymore. He's not going to be in the series anymore. My bro's just going to be gone. I'll probably have like some kind of cameo at the end of the newest series or something, but yeah. It feels weird, right? Like when that sort of staple thing is no longer relevant. He finally graduated. Yeah. They did make him be 10 years old for like 12 years, 30 years. What? Like 40 years? I don't know how long the Pokemon anime has been going on for. I think it must have been at least since like the 80s, 90s. I feel like it has like a lot of like I remember the original series having a lot of like the 90s anime tropes. So yeah, if he's been around since the 90s, he's like, you know, he's done a solid amount of work. And speaking of Pokemon, I can't help but like I designed the helmet for this character, right? Like I designed Hawk's helmet. But the problem is that every single time that I make like this big metal plate that kind of stretches over the skull like this, I can't help but think about like Meowth's gold thing. Pretty sure it's been since the 90s, yeah? You know that thing that like Meowth has plastered on its forehead? Or at least I think they do. I remember that Meowth has like one of those like old Japanese like money things. Hang on, I gotta Google Meowth. Yep. This thing. I don't know why, but whenever I draw it, I remember this thing. Yeah, giant yen. He's a money cat, yeah. A Maneki Neko. Remember when there were like a bunch of those like good luck charms floating around on the internet? Like there was like that one picture of like a tiger covered in cash that was like this is the money tiger. We blog for money dividends in 2020 whatever. I feel like we see a lot fewer of those these days. Can't wait until they appear on TikTok. They might already be on TikTok, and I just am not aware of it because I'm not on TikTok. Let's see here. People keep telling me to make a TikTok, and I keep telling them no. I know something's gotta give it at one point, but like I'm gonna keep not doing that until the very last possible second. I don't know. Maybe I need to have a video editing training arc later this year. That'll be kind of interesting. Yeah. You know, last year during October, I pretty much had a Blender training arc, right? So I need to have like a training arc for like a bunch of different things too, like live 2D and video editing. The only problem is that whenever I think about doing that, I also think of all the different arts that I need to get done, right? So it becomes a little bit of a struggle going from like, I want to learn video editing, but then being like, no, we have to work on this other thing that we promised ourselves we'd work on ages and ages ago. Yeah. Also, the thing is, right? You can do training, but you don't necessarily learn from it. You know, there's a difference between learning and training. Like you can train, but because training is just like structured, deliberate opportunities to learn. But you learn, you never stop learning. Like you're always constantly learning. Got to do a little bit of everything. I think that answer suits me the most. Yeah. Little bit of everything, all of the time. A little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm talking about Pokemon, I remember that like Louis Zong made that one Pokemon Surf Rock album that I still have downloaded. Really good stuff. Yeah. I don't know why I'm not more into surf rock than I am. Like, I feel like if I hadn't gotten into ska as much as I did, I would have definitely gotten into surf rock. I don't get why like it's a thing that people just don't like ska. I know that not every genre of music is for everyone, but I don't know like why ska is so controversial in terms of like music tastes. Must be the trumpet. People just can't handle that much trumpet in their lives. I get it. It's not for everyone. I wonder if that has any. Speaking of Pokemon, I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that one of the first Pokemon games that I ever, you know, played is a generous term for what I did with it. I watched my brother play it on our Game Boy. Like I'd peek over his shoulder while he was playing. Oh shit! Right, I need to draw the gun. Actually, I think I can probably wing it right here. Wing the gun. Let me take a look over here. Okay. This would actually go a little bit further down. There we go. And actually, come to think of it, it would probably be like in this direction too, right? No, hang on. Yeah, like that. But yeah, I remember like Generation 4 of Pokemon for some reason having just an ungodly amount of trumpet. Or was it Generation 3? Whichever one had like Kyogre and, what do you call? Groudon. Groudon. Grundon? Grundle? Grimble? Gremlin? The big angry earth lizard guy. God, it is really still funny just how comically stupid the plots of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire are. Like you have like your typical like criminal group, but instead of trying to like steal Pokemon or just make an honest criminal living, they're trying to either flood and or completely dehydrate the earth. Both outcomes which would be absolutely unlivable by anybody with 2 ounces of two brain cells to rub together. But these guys are Grumble Shanks. Yeah, but these guys are fucking in it to win it. Ganondorf. Yeah, Gianni. Fucking Giuseppe. Um, ground beef. Did I already use ground beef? I might have already used ground beef. Grumpled Stiltskin. Alright. Here we go. Okay, then we draw some vents right here. Man, if I somehow manage to draw this gun from memory at any point in the making of this comic, I'm going to be very proud of myself. Perhaps rightfully so. I've mentioned this before, but my main challenge is always and has always been in drawing like inorganic things, right? Like drawing humans is easy enough for me, but drawing stuff like weapons and everything takes a little bit more effort. You know, buildings, stuff like that. Although granted, if buildings were organic, we'd have bigger problems. I remember reading a comic that had that kind of premise, that like there was this weird fungus growth thing that essentially took over an apartment building. Yeah, it was a really messed up comic, but it was very good, well written. Excellent themes of like what do you call gentrification and all that. I don't remember what its name was though. I don't remember the name of the comic. I remember I got it from a Humble Bundle. God, the best comic I have read from a Humble Bundle, and one of the better comics that I've read, period, is this one called Prince of Cats, or you know, Tybalt Prince of Cats, which is this retelling of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet up to around like the part where Romeo and Juliet actually like I don't remember the exact beats in the play, but essentially it follows like Tybalt, right? As the name implies, it follows Tybalt, but instead of it being set in like medieval times, it's set in like an alternate future of like 80s New York, where for some reason instead of having guns, everyone still has swords, but instead of them being like normal like medieval swords, they're katanas for some reason. It is really good. What? Tapas? You good? Yeah. Let me see if I can find you the name of the author. Oop, I skipped on over the music a little bit. Hang on. Tybalt, Prince of Cats comic. Comic. Yeah, I think it is just called Prince of Cats, the book. Yeah, really good comic. Really good comic. Let's see. Written by Ronald Wimberly. Yeah, it's a really like I really love the art style of it, the motion of it. I should probably reread it one of these days. It might help me figure out this kind of like difficulty I'm having with the spear effect. Let's see. How are we for time, by the way? We've still got around 20 minutes or so before I gotta sign out. Let's try to finish at least panel 1. Yeah, once you start crowding way too many characters in there, it starts getting a little bit hectic. Yeah. The best part of it is that it isn't even, and I do feel like this needs to be emphasized, is that the best part of that comic isn't just the fact that its premise is fucking awesome, but that the fact that like all the characters still speak Shakespearean English mixed with 80s lingo. It is phenomenal. I think it might be written in I don't remember if it was written in iambic pentameter, but it might be. Which again, just absolutely phenomenal. It's a great thing. Alright, up to around there. I should drink some water. Okay. Okay, a big old round thing on over the ear. Remember, like in the 80s, when you just needed to paste these over somebody's ears to indicate they were a robot? Simpler times. Yeah. Now we have all these, like, the thing is, right, because technology has marched on, and now, like, these bulky, like, weird shaped things are no longer in fashion. They no longer look futuristic. They look like retro futuristic. And that's why nowadays we have, like, such swagless offerings as, like, that thing on the side of people's heads in Detroit Become Human. Man, I hate thinking about that game. Everything about it is just so like, you know how, like, nobody can think of, like, what do you call what's the name of it? The Last of Us 2 without, like, thinking about all the controversy and nonsense and all that. I feel like that's kind of what happened to that game for me. Like, now it could have just been a normal mediocre game, but because it was just so hyped up and it just had, like, such a circus behind it, like, now every time I remember it, I just kind of cringe a little bit. It always sucks when that happens into a piece of media, even if it's a piece of media that does rightfully suck. You know, people worked hard on that. That was somebody's hopes, dreams, hard work and labor. And again, like, this is not to defend the game. Like I said, there were some rightfully awful things, like just dog shit opinions in that game. But see what I mean? Like, even now, I have to, like, pedal backwards after implying that it might have been okay. It's a whole fucking thing. Crazy. Let's see. There we go. I had, like, some kind of weird tie thing for these people, didn't I? Yes, I did. Oh, deleted part of her hair. Somebody called it a dresser. Let's see. There we go. Nice thing about frills like this, particularly if they're going to be, like, low, you just, like, kind of are resigned to not have them be in much detail, so you can just copy and paste them after that first bunch. Nobody except seems people know how frills work, so you can get away with a lot. Not everything, but a lot. It still needs to make, like, a consistent internal sense, if that makes sense. Let's see, right here. There we go. And there we go. Just round out that one like that. Perfect. All right, then after that, the next step would be, the apron right down here. Whenever, again, this is about to be a joke that people who are watching the VOD won't get. I keep saying that. I need to stop saying it, but I still have the novelty of it. So let me have this. I get nervous whenever like even these royalty-free soundtracks have like even a brief snippet of words in them, because I get worried that that's where they'll pinch me. And again, I don't need to be worried about that because the music won't show up in the VOD, and it's all on Creative Commons on YouTube anyway. But I worry. I worry for me and mine. All right, we can just get rid of all this. I feel like the background almost needs to be a little bit further to the side for it to make sense. Like that. Yeah, actually, that might work. Even further to the side. Hang on. Also, I feel like this maid's mouth is a little bit too high up. I feel like her face is a little too wide. Tell you what. Let's make the chin just a little bit further out here. Valid? Okay, so then... But also, if it were me, I'd be blasting. I'm not sure what... is that about like the YouTube videos that I was talking about? Like that fear of that? I mean, yeah, I would also be blasting if that's the little part where they pinched me. Like, I would absolutely be fucking rancorous. Let's see. I like to think of myself as like a not very particularly controversial person. Like, if I say stuff, it generally won't be controversial. But there is always the odd possibility. Wait, hang on. This is starting to look... Okay, hang on. I need like a... Let me take a look at some other ones of these, too. Okay, yeah, no. I think it'll just be kind of like a straight curve like this. There we go. Making characters with like really well-defined jawlines can be a lot of fun. There we go. And we can just extend these out just a little bit further past here. All right. I think we've pretty much wrapped up panel 1. And I think that's most of the work that we'll be able to get done today. To be fair, it was a fairly complicated panel, so I'm happy with what we've accomplished. Actually, let me... for my final trick, I'll move this down just a little bit so it makes more sense. Oop, no, hang on. Now, they're a little crooked now, hang on. Yeah, alright. Alright. Let me crunch up my wrists here. We'll go to the just chatting screen. Oh dear, I'm in my corner. Let's see, where's my... I left my... here we go. That's where I left my VTube Studio window. Alright, well, thank you all for tuning in. Tomorrow we'll be doing a little bit more of the same, just more comic work, probably working on panel 2 of this. But besides that, I hope you'll have a great evening. Now let's see if we can raid somebody. Oh hey, Corgi's streaming Subnautica. Yeah, I heard them talk that game up a lot. I hear that they have like a very nice space in that, so let's go say hi. Alright, thank you all for coming by. Catch you later. Bye.